Today on Time About the Movies, we're wrapping January 2013 up with 3 films, including Jeremy Renner and Gemma Arterton, in a new twist on the classic tale of Hansel and Gretel. We have Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunters. What am I doing? What the hell was that? Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunters. And we have Jason Statham and Jennifer Lopez starring in Parker, and a movie that makes a haunted house look like Citizen Kane by comparison, Movie 43. January 25th, 2013. It's Time About the Movies. You know how we do this.
My name is Gretel, and this is Hansel.
We almost died at the hands of the witches. Now, we hunt them for a living. I'm not going to have you telling me what to do.
That's no ordinary witch.
There's something else going on here. Burn them all.
Bad.
She's trying to open the gates of hell.
You gotta be kidding me.
It's really 3D and IMAX 3D.
And welcome to Time About the Movies. Today we are taking a look at the 3 films that make up January 25th, 2013. And we are starting off with Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunters. I don't know why I do that with Gretel. I just don't, for some reason, I can't say Gretel with Hansel without saying Hansel and Gretel. Just a weird tick I have. But in this, Jeremy Renner and Gemma Arterton are the siblings from the fairy tale of Hansel and Gretel, who are now growing up and work together to exterminate witches for hire. So it's basically the Brothers Grimm, except instead of the Brothers Grimm being the heroes in this, it's Hansel and Gretel. Hey, I did it that time, but yeah, I thought this was a fun movie overall. It's silly, it's stupid, but it is still a ton of fun regardless. It is a movie that is very entertaining in its campiness and its silliness, and it's a precursor to what this director, Tommy Wirkola, would do later on with Violent Night, which I think is a masterpiece a Christmas classic overall. Not really a masterpiece, but a great Christmas movie that came out a couple years ago. But you get a sense of what he does with that movie in this film. Not perfected all the way through here, but Jeremy Renner and Gemma Arterton are very good in here. You also have Famke Janssen and Peter Stormare in here. And it's a movie that does deliver what it promises in terms of the silliness, the campy material, the over-the-top fun factor. It's definitely in this movie overall. It's a movie that I would say is not it's not a classic by any means necessary, but in the month of January, you're looking for just anything to keep you invested. We had that last week with The Last Stand. Here's another one that I thought worked very well. Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunters. Silly but fun. I enjoy it. I'm kind of glad they never made a sequel, because this probably would have worked just fine as a one-time thing. But other than that, though, yeah, it's fine for what it is. So with that said, let's go ahead and move on to our next movie, and that's Jason Statham and Jennifer Lopez starring in Parker.
Don't steal from people who can't afford it, and don't hurt people that don't deserve it. Let's relax. Who the hell are you? Parker. His crew stole his cut. On January 25th, there was a problem with the job. He's stealing it back.
How do we sleep at night?
I don't drink coffee after 7. Parker. New theaters January 25th.
Had to throw in the little J. Jonah Jameson in there for that. I mean, what else am I going to do that with a movie called Parker? But what that trailer does not show you is this particular scene.
I don't know what you're into, but whatever it is, you're gonna need somebody who knows the territory.
Take off your clothes.
What?
I have to know if you wear it a while. Don't ask me any questions, because I'm only going to tell you what I want to.
You know, he wasn't checking to see if she was a spy. She just wanted to see her with her clothes off. I mean, who wouldn't want to see Jennifer Lopez with her clothes off, pretty much? But that's beside the point here. This is Parker, based off of a book by Donald E. Westlake, who wrote it under the pen name Richard Stark, and it centers around Jason Statham, who plays he's a thief, but he has kind of like a Robin Hood-esque type code here, you know. His whole thing is that he doesn't steal from the poor and hurt innocent people, and he's asked to join 4 others in a group on a job. 2 of them played by Michael Chiklis from The Commission, of course, Fantastic Four, and you see Wendell Pierce in the movie. They pull it off flawlessly, but then they tell Parker that what they got can help them set up another job, which will net them even more. But Parker doesn't want to join them and asks for a share. But they need it all, so they try to kill him. They dispose of the body, but someone finds him still alive and takes him to the hospital. After recovering, he sets out to go back after the ones who tried to kill him, another one of his codes, and despite being told they are working with a known mobster, played again by Nick Nolte in one of his two gangster films this year, two mobster roles this year, because he had Gangster Squad earlier in the month, who was not aware of, which he was not aware of. He still wants to go after them. He learns where they are and poses as a wealthy Texan looking to buy a house, so he hires a real estate agent played by Jennifer Lopez to show him around. He's actually trying to find out where they're holed up. And when they find him, he sets on a plan to get them, but when they learn he's alive, they contact the mobster to take care of him, so the mobster sends a killer to take care of him. And Leslie also finds himself intrigued with him, so he follows him. So yeah, it's pretty chaotic and kind of formulaic for a story like this, a thief getting revenge on somebody for a bad job overall. But the film overall, I think, works fine on its own merits. I think it is actually one of the better Jason Statham movies in general, because it's a movie where he does a pretty good job with the disguises they give him. That blonde hair you see there in the trailer actually does kind of work very well to him, and he plays the wealthy Texan in here pretty good in here. Like, I'm not expecting him to be like the rich Texan from The Simpsons and all that, but he plays it pretty well. It's also pretty interesting to see Jennifer Lopez in kind of a sidekicky comedic role in here. Like, not really like straightforward comedy in this, but she is playing a more lighthearted character, and actually does fit the mold of the character that she plays against with Jason Statham. And like I said, a stacked cast in this movie. We mentioned already some of the big names already, but we also have Clifton Collins in here, Bobby Cannavale, Patti LuPone, Emma Booth. So yeah, there is a lot of big names involved in this movie, and it's directed by Taylor Hackford. Of course, Taylor Hackford is the guy that gave us An Officer and a Gentleman and Ray. And I think this might have been his last film, if I'm not mistaken. He had one more after this, The Comedian, which I don't remember too much about it, but it's a decent film overall. Not a great film, but not a bad film either. It's definitely, when you think of a Jason Statham action movie, this is about what you think it is. It's about on par of one of those movies in particular. Probably one of the better ones overall, but not one I would say is one you're going to want to rush out to see over and over again. But it is what it is. Accept it for what it is. Parker, decent film. So, there we go. We've had two decent films. Now, let's get to the big steaming pile of garbage that wraps this month up. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the worst comedies ever made, movie 43.
Something I want to ask you.
Something I'd like to ask you.
How about we say it at the same time?
Okay.
1, 2...
Will you poop on me?
What?
How's your HPV? It's your HPV, Veronica. I'm just carrying it.
Truth or dare?
Yeah.
See that blonde kid over there? I dare you to blow out his candles before he gets a chance to.
They homeschool their son.
It's very important that Kevin has a normal and complete high school experience.
Dropped your butts, fuckface.
Hey guys! Come check out this kid's weird view!
That right there is the entirety of the humor in this. Lazy, gross-out humor, offensively bad comedy, and just wasting this incredibly stacked cast of people on a project that just had so many problems behind the scenes on its own merits. But you have a series of different interconnected short films and sketches containing different scenes and scenarios about a washed-up producer as he pitches insane stories to lines featuring some of the biggest stars in Hollywood. You have characters played by Elizabeth Banks. You have Kristen Bell, Halle Berry, Leslie Bibb, Kate Bosworth, Gerard Butler, Josh Duhamel, Anna Faris, Richard Gere, Terrence Howard, Hugh Jackman, Johnny Knoxville, Justin Long, Christopher Mintz-Plasse, Chloe Grace Moretz, Lee Shriver, Sean William Scott, Emma Stone, Jason Sudeikis, Uma Thurman, Naomi Watts, Kate Hudson, and that's just the cast. The people involved in this in terms of the direction of these, you've got Banks again, Stephen Brill, Steve Carr, Rusty Cundiff, James Duffy, Griffin Dunn, James Gunn, Bob Odenkirk, Brett Ratner, Will Graham, Jonathan Van Tulken, who also you know from Shogun, Patrick Forsberg, James Duffy. This whole movie has so many stacked people in here, good people, and it's all spearheaded by one man, Peter Farrelly. Because he and Bobby Farrelly apparently split off to go their separate ways, and they haven't been the same since then. I mean, Peter Farrelly's won an Oscar for Green Book, which, let's be honest, he really shouldn't have had because that movie fucking sucks. One of the worst Best Picture winners of all time. But this film is definitely a very bad film. Case in point, how the film begins with Hugh Jackman, who at the time was seen as the frontrunner to win Best Actor for Les Miserables. But then this movie comes out where he literally plays the most eligible bachelor in the city, and he removes it. He's wearing a scarf when he comes in. He removes the scarf to reveal a pair of testicles dangling on his neck. Not the Peter Griffin type of testicles, like the ones that look like testicles but really are not. No, these are straight up balls, and the whole bit is nothing but watching this lame comedy with this pair of balls here. It is unbearable to watch. It is torturous to watch. It's just an indication of how bad this movie is. Not only for the film itself, because every single segment is terrible, but the way this thing came together. Like, the whole thing about this movie is that they had everybody trying to get involved in this. They had Colin Farrell attached at one point. You know, George Clooney was attached at one point. And even George Clooney told them, no fucking way. That was his words. No fucking way. Anton Yelchin was going to be in one. He didn't do it. Julianne Moore and Tony Shalhoub were going to be in one. They didn't decide to do it. Richard Gere had the worst luck in this movie. He agreed to appear in it, but said he would not be able to be in it for 1 year. And then Gere later contacted him saying that he was available to shoot the film, but on the condition that they do it in 4 days, relocate the shoot to Los Angeles to New York, and they did every single thing he wanted to. Richard Gere did not want to be in this movie. He tried everything to get out of it, and yet they still forced him into it. And he was not the only one that hated this experience. James Gunn said he was convinced to do the film by Elizabeth Banks and to blame her for it, and said, I didn't even get to edit the stupid thing. He also never saw the film, so he should consider himself pretty lucky. But also that you had all these... the film had to work around all these different schedules. It took them years to get this movie made. Years. And for it to turn out like this, oh my god, this is an unbelievably bad movie. Here's the thing that people need to remember about sketch comedy movies and why they work. The good ones work, you know. We're talking about your Kentucky Fried Movie. We're talking about your Amazon Women on the Moon. You know, these were coming out when Saturday Night Live was the norm, and sketch comedy was allowed to be more risque and more clever and more funnier with it. But the problem is, we're living in 2013, and even by then, the sketch comedy genre was dying out. And you know, for every SNL and for every Key and Peele, you would get something like an inappropriate comedy, which we're going to get to later in the year, or the underground comedy movie, or extreme movie. These lame sketch comedy movies that are nothing but lousy references, poop jokes, bad gross out jokes. I mean, this one's probably even worse than all those because of all the stacked names they had in here, and how the producers and the people who made this were so hell-bent on getting this movie made that they literally threatened. They were literally threatening, is like almost doing the equivalent of threatening people to get this made. That's how bad this movie is. Like, it's a mess. It's an ungodly mess of a movie. It's a terrible film on so many levels. I mean, what more do you got to say about it? Movie 43, one of the worst comedies ever made, one of the worst movies you'll ever see. I got nothing else for you. Movie 43. If you haven't seen it, do yourself a favor and just don't. Be glad that you haven't. And thus, with all that said, we wrap up another episode of Time About the Movies. We'll jump into February on the next episode for Super Bowl weekend with a couple of decent films. We have actually a really good film, including Warm Bodies, which has Nicholas Hoult as a zombie who wants to fall in love with a human. That's directed by the guy who did 50-50. Sylvester Stallone joins Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jason Statham in new action films to start the year off with Bullet to the Head. We also have Stand Up Guys with Robert De Niro, I think. I know Christopher Walken is in this one too, but I think it's Robert De Niro, before they even look at it, Alan Arkin and Christopher Walken. I got two of them. Christopher Walken, Alan Arkin, and Al Pacino. Al Pacino is in this one. Directed by the guy who was playing an Indian guy in Short Circuit. Javari from Short Circuit directed this movie. So, will that mean a good thing or a bad thing? We're going to find out tomorrow. So we'll take a look at those three films tomorrow on the show. But with all that said, thank you so much for watching this. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please go ahead and do me the honors of hitting that like button, that subscribe button, and that notification button. Also, don't forget to check out our playlist, and don't forget to check out the previous episode we did. With all that said, whether it's in the past, the present, or the future, I will see you at the movies. Take care.